to be very honest, a year back we started NIC Peshawar last year in March, April, right? And in the very first 2 weeks, I was kind of a bit depressed because we know that when we were doing Startup Cup, we hardly used to get good applications from, unfortunately, from Peshawar, from Quetta, or Islamabad, and but I realized that there was a big disadvantage. There was nothing wrong with the people over there, with the young minds over there. The problem was something else, and the problem was that they did not have a good base where they can go, where they can be mentored, where they can be coached, where people can connect them with the right partners, with the right investors, where somebody can simply draw the roadmap about their business models, help them to think differently, right? So ideas have been all around Pakistan, and we have a gentleman from Laya right now, right? How many of you have been to Laya, for example?
I haven't.
There's not even a one single guest house over there where you can stay and be happy the very next morning. This is the truth over there, right? There's no infrastructure over there, and even then, we have a guy who can probably get benefited from a big market, which is agri in Punjab, and agri in Punjab is 12% of Pakistan's GDP, right? So we do have all these amazing minds. We do have people who can do great things, but we did not have support networks. All the organizations working in Pakistan had limited capacities. NIC is an engine itself. We will seek the help if government sees some potential. So there is, for example, we have textile position in front of government to influence their policies. We are not strong. The government doesn't see value in startup. He talks about that 3-4 years back, Startup in India was launched. But look at before their program, right? So there's a lot of groundwork which we in this room, the people in this room, we have to take this up. And we have to be there to influence the policies of the government. But in any case, as far as the government of Pakistan is concerned, in the past 2 years, there have been so many initiatives.
Step ahead. Before I move on to my next panelist, I also would like to tell the audience that you can take, if you have any questions, we have ushers who will bring a device to you and you can let them know their questions. They'll have these questions here for the panelists. Moving on, Shamila. But at the same time, we'd like to know, what was it to be like? What was it like, the story from the startup's perspective?
We had a very good journey as far as Gharbar is concerned. That's because we were the winners of Islamabad Startup Cup, and we actually picked our ease of business, which lack in Pakistan a lot right now. बहुत आसान है, आप 3 steps में सब कुछ कर सकते हैं. यहाँ पे नहीं है. For example, if because we can't even breathe, सबसे पहले आपके ऊपर. So if the small businesses, what they need is कि जी आपकी generate profit, उसके ऊपर आपको tax लगे, but we're not even very difficult. So movement of capital from one country to the other, for them to take money back out of the country, and then we.
Okay, it's early days. The problems you are having are supposed to be handled by angel investors who invested in it. So we've invested in about 8 to 9 companies in Pakistan. We take care of all these corporate taxation, all these issues for them, so they can focus on what they invest to become the unicorns or macros. That's right. So when you're selecting an investor, you have to also look at is it smart money or is it just money? So smart money means all these issues which were highlighted should be taken care by the angel investor.
You're right. If I give my example, Gharbar ka example, we were very lucky because we knew people in the industry and all who could help us out. But everybody out there, all these startups sitting over here, they don't have the network that we had. So, best of luck to everyone.
Okay, so Shamama, I'll
on this, and I'd like you to give everything, write everything in it, write your wish list. I mean, write anything and everything you want, and probably out of 15, we'll be able to get 5. So we have to, at this point now, start policy intervention. We have to advocate very strongly. Advocacy is the answer. We have to start talking about startups and the future of the startups and the successes of the startups. And when we talk about having a close link with the industry also, the industry, our government, the banks, the donors, and the corporates also, big corporates, as they're part of CSR, they should all come, make a fund.
Required, what efforts, and especially I would like you to sort of share your thoughts on the role of the incubators and the accelerators. We've recently seen a mushroom growth, but are we really doing things right?
Thank you for that fantastic question, Sumera. I think I would, Assalamu alaikum everybody, and fantastic pitches. I must compliment all startups here. They were well timed and within 30 seconds, so good on you. I'd really like to support what Sir Humayun said here, that it's nascent days for the startup industry within Pakistan. I'd like to second man here also, that it is primarily the culture since the very beginning. And अभी तो उन्होंने फिर grade 7 से entrepreneurship के courses को suggest किया है. I feel जो comparisons हम draw करते हैं West के साथ, they're a little unfair, because you see if there is a toddler, 5-year, 6-year-old kid, उनको बता दिया जाता है कि अगर आपने कुछ करना है तो आप lemonade का stall लगा लें. वो entrepreneurial spirit उनसे उनके अंदर inculcate की जाती है by their family since, I don't know, day 1. 18-16 साल की उम्र में उन्हें बता दिया जाता है, majority, I mean, who are not very privileged to support their private education there, you are on your own. So they make money by having an entrepreneurial mindset, or working or whatever. They know the value of hard work. I'm not saying that our youth is not hardworking, but then again, throughout the 16 year of education or 18 year of education, we are taught, or the way the mindset is trained, हमने corporates में काम करना है, multinational organizations में काम करना है. तो एक तो ये mindset कब आता है, जाते जाते जाएगा. I liked how Murtaza said that we need to quote good examples.
They're predatory for being predatory when it comes to negotiating equity splits between them and startups. What are the startups? What are the No, it's the top one has been really addressed about mindsets and how we can change that. Shamama has really elaborated on that. Yeah, so if you can, Humayun,
Trust factor is both ways. So sometimes, when founders are looking for investment, when they come up to you and they say, what if, we are vested, so you own the company, and if you don't perform, you take over the company. And so my advice to all the startups is, the last thing you want to do is raise money till you're sure. So your friends, family, fools, exhaust that. So once you borrow any money, it comes with strings attached. Whether it be from a bank, whether it be for any outsider, it comes with strings attached. So why is an angel investor investing in you? Because he sees the potential. He sees the potential in the idea, and he is impressed with your passion or dedication which you're showing. Now he's planted a sizable amount of money, and a young guy. No investor is going to go and sell his company. It's the founder. So, and last advice is to talk about Google them before going to them. You'll find out. It's very easy.
All right, we have more questions, but I will have to wind this up here. I would really like very fruitful, I definitely think, startup, especially for the startups, the panel discussion, as we would like to present sheets to each one of you.
I would now like to request the Engineer Mansoor Malik, Founding Vice President, TAI Islamabad, to give away shields to Shamila Ismail.
And one person.
A platform to validate their entrepreneurial ideas. Back in 2008, when we began our journey, there was very little discussion on the concept of entrepreneurship and almost negligible support for young people in setting up their own businesses. The typical mindset was job seeking. It was amidst this landscape that we initiated youth entrepreneurial clubs at the universities in Islamabad and Rawalpindi, leading to the Pakistan Startup Cup that has evolved into the country's biggest business plan competition with a national imprint. The success stories that have emerged through this process speak volumes of the tremendous potential of the untapped talent of our youth. Pakistan Startup Cup winners have gone on to win the World Startup Cup, raise global investment, solve problems at the community level, and create successful companies. I would like to take this opportunity to mention one of our star alumni, Shamila Ismail, founder of Garpar, who was on the panel just previously, who is here today with us today. Shamila joined the Startup Cup with just an idea, and today is a thriving startup that is supporting beauticians in Lahore and in Islamabad connect to market through the app for at-home services. Garpar is a wonderful example of how a startup has revolutionized the beauty salon experience. Garpar has also demonstrated the power of innovation to address poverty by providing greater economic opportunities to more than 100 beauticians. So they just started a year and a half, 2 years ago, and so they're just in the process of scaling up and going national. And I've met many women who use their services at home, and they're hygienic, clean. It's at your doorstep. It's convenient, and alhamdulillah, they're doing really well. It is also pertinent to note that in order to foster entrepreneurship at higher levels, we need to introduce this concept at the early stages of learning. And I would like to take this opportunity to make this recommendation to the Honorable Minister to consider introducing entrepreneurship learning at the primary and the second through the Pakistan Startup Cup. We're in our 5th cycle, and on behalf of the startups, on behalf of the judges, the mentors, our board, and the whole ecosystem, we would like to thank you because, to be honest, if it was not for this support, we wouldn't have been able to get started. And I think we get stronger year on year. We try to, increase the levels of innovation that are coming through. Not only innovation for the sake of innovation, but innovation that can help address the social issues of our country. Because we have many startups that are coming forward year on year that are addressing, issues of education, economic development, social development, culture development. And I think that as a board, we're particularly excited about that. And on top of that, we're seeing a lot more women entrepreneurs coming forward. So that's very exciting. So thank you very much for your support.
Let's see if this one works. Thank you. Is this working? Not really. Okay. Next one. Okay. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. What a great Friday. What a great place to be on a Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm just delighted to be here to celebrate and announce the winners of the Startup Cup. Sarah, thank you so much for your kind words. We are so proud from the U.S. Embassy to have been a partner from the beginning with Ty and your wonderful team and in this Startup Cup. And I have to say, over the course of the last maybe around 20 years of my diplomatic experience, where I've seen our work together with entrepreneurs in different countries, as you mentioned, in Poland and Malaysia and other places I've served, it grows so wonderfully, and it's an exciting... Is that one working now? No. Yes, it is. All right, thank you. it's such a fun and exciting area to work in. You know, Americans are entrepreneurs by nature, and it is a natural connection for us. And for us to have the opportunity to meet and see the tremendous entrepreneurship that's going on here in Pakistan, and to have the opportunity to connect some of the leading entrepreneurs with entrepreneurs and investors in the United States is a great privilege for us. Mr. Minister, we're delighted you're here. Thank you so much for your partnership and your support in this really critical area. As Sarah said, from the education, and I've listened to a lot of entrepreneurs, experienced entrepreneurs, explain how early childhood education is so important in this space. So I just have a couple of things I wanted to share today, mostly with the entrepreneurs that are here. This is, you make it happen. You are the source of the inspiration and the source of the ideas and the source of the passion that brings solutions to society's challenges. So when this Startup Cup began, I think you had 163 teams in the competition, and there were no shortage of innovative ideas from all over the country. But this community was then just in its infancy. Over the next few years, we worked all together on creating stronger support structures, funding opportunities, and networks to take the ideas to the next level. So now, a few years later, you're part of a fully formed entrepreneurship community that we can all be very proud of here in Pakistan. 680 teams joined, is that right, Sarah? Sorry? 2,000 applications. 2,000 applications coming from all over Pakistan. And the competition has been fierce, as you said, narrowed down to just 18 finalists today. And over the last 6 months, your work and training have taken your startups from initial concepts to fully viable businesses ready to compete. So as finalists, your ideas have been challenged and expanded. And you've determined what customers want and learned how to transform that into reality. So congratulations to everyone for making it this far. And I particularly want to mention, as Sarah did, recognize the role of women and women entrepreneurs, especially this year, because I understand there are about half of the participants this year are women, which is a big increase from the startup back several years ago, which is great news, because bravo, yeah. Only when we're drawing on every part of our human resources and society are we going to come up with the greatest ideas and the greatest entrepreneurs. And I'd like to digress for just a moment to say I know this firsthand because my wife, Catherine, is an entrepreneur herself. Just over 3 years ago, she created a startup in the area of women's health technology. It's been a long slog, longer than she expected, still no revenue, but some very promising studies. Health is a long-term area, as she discovered. But I hear firsthand and can really appreciate the challenges, the perseverance, the passion it takes among all entrepreneurs, and in some special ways, women entrepreneurs. So hats off to all of you for where you've come and where you're going. We've heard tremendous feedback from this Startup Cup. 90% of the finalist companies reported that their businesses had grown thanks to the mentorship and training that they received in the Startup Cup. And I think it was another 35% said they had attracted outside investment or formed formal partnerships as a result of their participation in this Startup Cup. Successes in this Startup Cup include one of my favorites from a couple of years ago called Cowlar. We heard about that one. This is the Fitbit for cows, a wearable device designed to help farmers boost milk yield, optimize operation, and improve herd health. Cowlar helps boost reproductive rates, identify diseases, improve milk yield, and even detect cattle theft. So Cowlar participated in the prestigious Combinator Accelerator program, which attracted U.S. investment. And through the support of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Cowlar has now been able to connect with leading dairy research institutes and has started trials in the U.S. states of Tennessee and California. Bravo. So there are a lot of success stories like these, and I'm sure that your entrepreneurship ventures are going to be among them in the years ahead. I had a chance to look over the descriptions of your businesses, doing amazing work in so many sectors, from more flexible systems to provide in-house help, to empowering people with disabilities to better communicate. And what struck me most when learning about your businesses that you're involved in was that all of them, in one way or another, have a tangible impact on people's lives, whether it's protecting the lives of coal miners from harmful gases or helping Pakistani surgeons perform safer operations. You all represent the next generation of business leaders. And with the skills that you've been honing here, you're equipped to solve the most challenging problems and create durable solutions for your communities, for Pakistan, and for the global community. So we know that no one can do this alone. I've learned this also from my wife. You can't do any of this sitting by yourself. So we hope that the networks that you have formed here and your connections with Pakistani and American mentors in this program will help you for years to come. So while this ceremony is the end of one journey, it's the beginning of another. Even if your team is not chosen as one of the top 3 today, I hope you won't give up and keep pursuing your goals. I think it's well known that many of the best entrepreneurs failed multiple times on the road to success, and that's what strengthened them, and that's what gave them the passion and the focus and the ability to decide what is the way forward. So as I was mentioning to the minister, in a separate entrepreneurship program, we just sent 7 Pakistani entrepreneurs to the annual Global Entrepreneurship Summit in the Netherlands. And we're really confident that between people like you, between people like them, there will grow an even stronger entrepreneurship ethos and environment here in Pakistan that will help develop, as Sarah said, the economy and the human resources and the ability to solve problems ahead. So I'd like to finish with just a little quote from a well-known entrepreneur, Steve Jobs, founder of Apple. He obviously knew entrepreneurship isn't easy, and it takes passion. It takes ability not to give up. And so Steve said this, quote, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary." So your startups have the opportunity to change the future and drive innovation. And we, from the American Embassy, from the United States, want to be your partners going forward. Thank you for this opportunity to be here. Thank you to Ty and the tremendous team. Thank you, Minister. Congratulations and best of luck to all of you. Bahut shukriya. Good afternoon. Thank you.
I would now request Sara Hashwani, President I Islamabad, to give away our token of appreciation to Mr. Paul Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause to Mr. Paul Jones.
Engineer Mansoor Malik, Ambassador Jones, ladies and gentlemen, it's so exciting to be here, quite honestly, because what we briefly saw, there's so much creativity in that and so much understanding of what is required that it is truly visible that this is where the future of Pakistan lies. Our entrepreneurs, people who would innovate, people who would understand. I guess the first thing is to determine what is really required, and then through a creative application of mind find a way of doing it. And it is beginning to happen in Pakistan, and most of the universities have started to establish incubation centers. So there is so much hope and so much excitement with entrepreneurship and innovation. And I want to particularly commend Ty and Sarah Hashwani and Engineer Malek and everybody who's been involved in these activities, because this is truly a service to the country, and this is the way forward without any doubt. While I was hearing different applications and different innovations, and I thought I might as well give one idea of the kind of innovation that we require in Islamabad. I, by force of circumstances, live alone, but I have to entertain occasionally, and I just don't know how to go about it. And maybe someone over here can develop an app or some kind of a thing where you can connect people like me with those who can come and take over and organize a dinner or a lunch or whatever, and make it very easy for us to entertain. So maybe that's an idea somebody can develop an app for, particularly in Islamabad. And I also felt that some of the things that have already been launched, at least I was not aware of that. So I don't know how, one of the challenges, I guess, is to create awareness of what you have developed and what is visible and what is available. It probably requires a bit of a research for somebody to find you. So I don't know how we can create a platform or something where everybody comes to know what new innovations are now available. Sarah, you mentioned curriculum. As it so happens, we are now beginning to develop a new national curriculum, and therefore this is a good time for us to get together and see how we can include entrepreneurship very early at the school level. And also in the field of education, already I think there was one startup from Lahore who are working on education. Actually, the entire area of public policy has a huge potential for new innovations and new ways of tackling many old problems. Let me give you an example. One of the things that I'm really concerned about these days is how to increase the literacy in the country. Now, our literacy ratio at the moment, after 71 years of our independence, is 58%. And this is not good enough. So after 71 years, and we've had many adult literacy programs and accelerated literacy programs, and for some reason they have not worked. One of the reasons is that the target population, how to reach the target population, how to teach them, and how do you overcome the capacity gaps and so on. So how do you develop some kind of an innovative solution? I mean, I can tell you that we are beginning to look at some mobile app-based solutions for spreading literacy. But we are meeting many people and many entrepreneurs who are coming and telling us that do this way, do that way. But that's an area where any one of you who can think about a solution to how to increase literacy at an exponentially high rate would be really, really welcome. So please, just if you have any ideas about this, just come to the ministry and I would be very happy to meet you and very happy we can discuss how we can move forward as far as improving literacy is concerned. But education as a field, as a whole, now a lot of new technologies are coming up in education, and we heard one about out-of-school children, but think about how the capacity gaps that we have in rural areas and urban areas, between rich areas and poor areas, and where you can actually use Khan Academy type models where you can have pre-packaged lectures and things like that, and you can have the same quality and standard of teaching more or less in a rural area as you have in an urban area. And it is then possible to, the role of the teacher would change from that of a teacher to a facilitator. And as you teach, as you use technology, not only the students learn, but the teacher learns also. So I don't want to elaborate too much on this, but there is so much which is happening, and there is so much possibility of doing more. Congratulations again to all the entrepreneurs and innovators who are here today, and I really congratulate you for working hard and bringing up these apps, and whoever the eventual winners would be. But as was said by Ambassador Jones, that it doesn't matter if you don't win this time, but you are part of a movement which is growing. I incidentally want to thank the United States government and US Embassy for supporting these activities and these innovations. And this is really at the heart of our future, and we really appreciate what you're doing. So, yeah, well, I think that means that so thank you very much for inviting me again, and we are hoping to create some kind of in the HEC, a kind of portal or something where many other entrepreneurs and innovators can log in and try and create an environment where we can help some of them. So thank you very much and wish you all the best.
I will now request Ms. Sara Usmani, President I, Islamabad, to give a token of appreciation to Mr. Shafqat Mehmood. Two contenders. I would like to invite.
ये आप आ रहे हैं जी फोटोज में.
I would like to invite receipt board and appress.
भाईजान थोड़े पीछे आ जाएं. फोटोग्राफर पीछे. फोटोग्राफर पीछे आ. भाईजान थोड़ा पीछे आ जाए फोटोग्राफर. भाईजान हेलो भाईजान ये शफकत महमूद से यूएस का